Hello? Can you hear me? I am searching, whether it's the cities, the quiet suburbs, or in the beauty of nature. I will find it. In the crevices. In the darkness. Welcome to Lost or Found.
Would you ever go to an abandoned hospital in the middle of the night in an abandoned forest with just you and the cameraman? Yes, welcome back to another episode of Lost or Found here on Horror Fiend TV. As you can tell, I was a little inspired by our film we're going to talk about and to come to an abandoned hospital to talk about the 2018 film Nightshot, written and directed by hugosonig and starring Natalia Couturier. Well, if the intro did not tell you what was possibly the synopsis of this film, let me give it to you. So, we have a vlogger who decides to go with her friend, the cameraman, to an abandoned hospital in the middle of the forest at night. Let me say it once again. An abandoned hospital in the middle of the forest at night. As they ventured deeper into the hospital, they soon find out, there are dark, disturbing secrets that reside in this hospital that are about to come out. And what turned out to be a night of vlogging ended up becoming a night of pure survival for what was about to be unleashed on them both. Now, before I talk about why found footage fans talk about this film, let us look at other aspects of this film. Now, I've always mentioned and I've always hammered it that environment plays a factor in found footage horror films. It is a key factor to the film. And what better location than an abandoned hospital in the middle of the forest at night? Now, what I like about this film too is the sequences of black and white and then color towards the end work perfect in this film. It adds to this film certain aspects that I've always been a fan of black and white when it comes to found footage, but when the usage of color comes out, it actually adds to the movie. Like if you're a fan of Sin City, they do the same thing, only colors used at certain points in the film. But that is one of the aspects I like about this film. Now, not only that, when we dive deeper into the hospital, we start learning a little bit more about the history of this particular hospital, a history that surrounds experimentation and a certain doctor that had his way with patients. And, like in most films and most history, was possibly the reason that, it closed down. But that was a good way of slowly introducing a dark past into the film instead of throwing it right in the beginning of the film. Now, when you're watching this film, the fact that it's a vlogger, you literally feel like you're watching a live viewing. And this is another aspect of the film, which I'll mention a little bit later. I'm getting there, which adds to this movie. Now, the introduction of evil in this film was done with, a Ouija board. I know it's simple, but a Ouija board carries a lot of weight in horror, paranormal, possession films, and the introduction to it kind of helped start boost what exactly was coming later on in this film. As the film continued, we realized that this evil presence is still there and it is really about to unleash upon these two. But let's finally talk about what makes this film interesting. This film was done in one single cut. That is very impressive to have a film in one single cut. No editing. Of course, there's some CGI in this film that was later added on in the post production. But the fact that they went in one simultaneous cut to complete this film, kudos to Hugo. Well done. So, what are my final thoughts of this film? Well, this film had a good amount of flaws. What critics talk about the most in this film is the end sequence of this film. The ending for me was a massive letdown. It wasn't what I expected, it wasn't what I wanted. To end the film in that manner, especially after, spoiler alert, the death of Natalia's character, to end it that way, instead of, I don't know, let the cameraman survive, but the ending of it with, well, just watch it because I don't want to spoil the ending of it, kind of let down the film, because what happened with Natalia was a very gruesome scene, but to end the film on the note they did was a huge disappointment. Also, just like any film, especially some found footage film, there tend to be lulls in the film where the camera is just sitting there. Now, I feel like those portions could have been taken out, but honestly, the fact that it was in one cut, probably the reason they kind of left it in there, but maybe they could have moved to the next area a little sooner. But that is one of my biggest knocks on this film, is that lull in certain parts of the film. Also, a lot of critics really went after Natalia's acting in this film, but you must take into consideration the fact that they did this in one cut. Now, most films, I'm an aspiring filmmaker, most scenes are done in different takes. So they pick out the best take that the actors did and place it into the film. So it's not like the actress had that opportunity. It was one consistent acting, one scene after another, without no breaks and interruptions. Now, the history and appearance of the Doctor was actually a very good twist in this film. And it was a little disturbing when you actually find out what experiments this doctor was actually doing in this hospital. So, with the flaws being said, I must say I'm going to consider this film a found, because I tend to root for independent filmmakers. And what Hugo did in this film with one simultaneous cut, you have to give this crew an applause for what they did in this film. It also has a massive amount of potential. Now, if it was possibly done in different takes, you would see the potential of the film. But basically, the simultaneous cut, while it was the best part of the film, it also kind of held it back a little bit. But overall, I consider Nightshot a found footage horror film. Watch it, appreciate what they did in one simultaneous cut, because that is hard to do, and the fact that they kept it going for the length of this film. I think the film is like an hour and 30 minutes. But yes, Nightshot currently streaming on Tubi. So watch it. Let me know what you think about it. And let me know if basically the question I want to ask, and see if you guys will answer to me. Do you think the one simultaneous cut ruined the film, or do you think it actually added to making this film a little bit more interesting? Well, let me know. This is JR, Horror Fiend TV, Lost or Found. It's time for me to go. Peace.